There we go. Hold on. Let me zoom in so it gets a little bit better. Yeah, can't go anywhere.
All right, so on this right here, I'm going to go over, so I'm going to start with this one right here. So now, what type of angle do I have here? What type of angle is that? That's a single angle, right? That's a single angle. So if that's a single angle, this is X, Y, and R, isn't it? Okay, so now for this one right here, so for this, I'm looking for this. It's going to be in quadrant 2. So what is my Y value? Positive 3. What's my R value? 4. And then solve for X, which is using Pythagorean theorem. I'm hoping everyone's doing it right now, right? Okay, what do we come up with here? There we go. Negative radical 7. Very good. Negative radical 7. And it's looking for tangent. So what is tangent? Y over X. So my Y value is 3 over negative radical 7, right? What do I have to do with that? Rationalize. So square root of 7 over square root of 7, which gives me negative out front. I'm just putting negative out front. 3 radical 7 over 7. So my answer is? All right, let's see. Let's keep going. All right, so for this next one, it's going to be, so I'm going to use an identity here because it's asking you which identity is that. Now, you guys look at your reference sheets, please. I'm going to try and help you guys cheat here. Okay, now, on your reference sheet, find something that says something plus tangent squared equals secant squared. Hey, look. 1 is my answer. It's on your reference sheet. Where? Did everyone find it? Anyone not find it? Anyone not? Okay, we good? Hyro, you all right? Okay. So, that one should be easy now. Now let's take a look at this one here. Now this one here, I'm going to break it up. We know, what does the sine value represent? Y. So it's going to be Y over, what's tangent? Y over X. So now, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, right? So isn't Y just like a whole? There's no fraction there, right? So how can I represent that Y as a fraction? Y over 1, right? Now, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal of this is going to become? So, the reciprocal of this right here. X over Y. So, X over Y. So, if it's X over Y, what's going to happen to my Y values? And I'm left with just X over 1, which is cosine of X. Cosine of X, my answer is there. Everyone good? Okay. All right, so let's try number 4. On number 4, ooh, I'm sliding the wrong way. So on number 4, I have to go through and rewrite it, don't I? So if I translate that to math, say translate that to math, so that's going to become what? What is secant? Or cosecant is 1 over y times cotangent, which is X over Y. All that is divided by secant, which is 1 over X. Very good. So 1 over X. Now, let's multiply the top part. So if I multiply the top part, I'm going to get X over Y squared. Now, times. I'm going to multiply because I can't divide fractions, so I multiply by the reciprocal. What's my reciprocal of this right here? X over 1, right? So X over 1, which is going to end up giving me X squared over Y squared is what? Cotangent. So this is going to be cotangent squared X. So my answer is... So hopefully everyone's still able to follow along. So now, I'm pretty sure this one right here was on our homework because I remember doing it a bunch of times. Yes?
Cosine squared over sine squared is not equal to
No, that's cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1. I'm sorry. So they told you it was 1? Okay, go put them on blast. And like show them the video for it too. Yeah, catch me outside. How about that? Okay, so now let's translate number 5. How would I write that? Y squared over 1 times x squared over y squared, right? Because cotangent squared, so both of them are squared, right? Okay, plus 1. So if I distribute, as I distribute here, what do I get? What happens to my y squareds? Cancel, so I'm left with just x squared. Now as I distribute over here, plus y squared, so what does that give me? That gives me 1. X squared plus y squared, yeah. As I distribute here, only when I'm timesing by these two right here, the y squareds will cancel on this one, so you're left with just x squared. And then when I distribute over here, I don't have anything else except for 1 times y squared, which gives me that. So, and my identity says x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. So my answer is 1. All right, so let's take a look at this next one. Number 6. This one's a fun one. No, you guys will like this because after this, I think it's after this one. Yeah, after this one, I'll show you guys how to cheat. You've been knowing? Malcolm, you're a great kid. I really like you. If you've been knowing how to cheat, why are you in here again? All right, so how you weren't cheating right, okay? I learned from Bill Belichick. He taught me how to do it right. Never mind. All right, so South Park reference. Anyway, all right. So what is this one going to turn into? 1 over x squared, right? Minus 1 over x squared over y squared, right? So x squared over y squared. That's a y. Squared, right? Now, off to the side. Let's just take care of this piece right here. I can't have a fraction over fraction, so I have to multiply by the... So it's going to be 1 times the reciprocal, which is... There we go, right? So that's just going to leave me with y squared over x squared, right? Okay, so right here I get 1 over x squared minus, what do we get? Y squared over x squared. Now, do they have common denominator? They do. Now I have 1 minus y squared over x squared. Now, Sergio, I'm going to call you out. Wait. Why don't you guys tell me the thing's still on the screen? There we go. All right. All right, so right here. So, Sergio, what is this piece? What's 1 minus y squared? That's equal to x squared. So if I take my identity plus y squared equals 1, I subtract y squared. So x squared is equal to 1 minus y squared. X squared over x squared, that is 1. Right? So x squared over x squared is equal to 1. So my answer for number 6 is 1. 1. Huh? There's no 1 in here. Anyway. Collaborate and listen. All right, so now for this next one right here. Use identities to find the exact value of this one right here. So what two numbers can I add together to get 255? So cosine of 120 plus 135? Okay. We're just finding two numbers on my unit circle that will add together to be 225. Every time you do this, you'll probably end up with different numbers all the time because, you know, even when I did this during third hour, this was a different combination, and this is someone used like 45 and like 215. Yeah, you'll get the same answer. All right, so now for this one right here, so now my formula for my reference sheet is cosine, cosine, right? Cosine, cosine minus sine, sine. So it's cosine of 120. What's cosine of 120? So actually, let me write this out first. Cosine 120, cosine 135 minus sine 120, sine of 135. So cosine 120 is how much? Negative 1/2. What's cosine at 135? Minus sine at 120? And sine 135? 2 over 2. There we go. All right. So for this right here, let's look. Two negatives make a positive, don't they? So I get radical 2 over 4. And this is going to become minus radical 6 over 4. So together, that's going to be radical 2 minus radical 6 all over. And the answer is C. Is that okay? Now, I'm going to show you right now. You ready? You ready? You ready?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, so you're not ready? Now, on my calculator, watch this. Okay, cosine. So cosine. What can't you see? What's wrong? Oh, someone's head's in the way? Oh, okay. So it's nothing I can fix. So cosine 225. Make sure you put in the degree symbol, otherwise you're going to have some issues here. No, this is degrees, isn't it? Okay, cosine, oh crap, 255, sorry. I know, right? I'm messing up, and it's on video too. All right, so I got negative 0.25. So, negative 0.25. Now, let's take a look at my answer now too. My answer, so start with my fraction. So 2 minus radical 6 over 4, negative 0.25, right?
You don't even have to do the work.
Now, when would you have to do the work? On the test tomorrow. On the short answer one, right? So you guys could use this to actually get all your answers, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now, when can I use this though? Multiple choice, but look carefully. Is this cosine a number? This is of a number, right? So it's a number there, so I could use that, and my answers are numbers, aren't they? So because of that, I have number, I can actually come up with it there. Yeah, you could use it to check your answer all the time.
But if it's like 1 minus cosine.
Yeah, 1 minus cosine is not one that you can do. Okay, you guys ready for the next one? All right, so this one right here, this one is which formula was used in the first place? If it says cosine, cosine minus sine, sine, what formula is that? Cosine and what's in between? It's a plus sign, right? A plus B. So my A value is 36 plus 24. So that's going to say cosine of 60. What is cosine at 60? Say 1/2. 1/2. There we go. Good job.
It's not minus? Or subtraction? It has a minus?
No, if you remember, if you look at your formula, if it says cosine, cosine minus, look at the formula part. So cosine, cosine minus, cosine, cosine minus, that gives you a cosine of x plus y, right? X plus y, that's why. Yes. Okay, did you put in all that to the calculator? Yeah, you could do that too. Didn't I show you? I told you right now, you could. I just showed you how to cheat. Good job. You cheated correctly. Okay. All right, so here's another one. Can I cheat on this one?
Probably not. Sure, I ain't cheat on anyone. I'll just sneak in the answers from
You know what? If I wasn't recording right now, no, I can't pause it. Dang it. Yeah, there was going to be a good joke coming in there too. Anyway, all right. So we're doing this one right here, tan 75. So now we're just going to cheat on this one straight away. Now, because I'm telling you this one's not on the short answer, so I'm not as worried about this. So everyone, cheat that one real quick. Hold on now. Tell me the decimal for tan 75. Okay. And so you're just trying to match that answer to one of my multiple choices, right? And you come up with what? D. Sergio says D. It's D? D? Does that make sense? Okay, so hopefully you guys got this down now, right? So now for this right here, for this sine one, now I'm not going to cheat on this one. I'm going to actually do this again because guess what? You're probably going to have something like this on the free response. 4. Now, for this right here, how do I get negative 15? 45 minus 30, right? Or 30 minus 45. Okay, so this is going to be sine of 30 minus 45 will give me my negative 15, right? So I use that. So the sine formula, it's sine cosine, right? So sine 30 cosine 45 minus sine 45 cosine 30. Now, if you're looking at the reference sheet actually tells you the signs. So whenever you have a minus sign here, okay?
So if it was cosine, it'd be
Yeah, if it was cosine. Cosine is an opposite, but sine's the same. So what is sine at 30? 1/2. What's cosine 45? Minus, what's sine at 45? Say radical 2 over 2. Okay, now cosine at 30 is? There we go. So I get radical 2 over 4 minus radical 6 over 4, which my answer is going to be radical 2 minus radical 6 all over 4. Can't. Oh, dang it. No, because it doesn't go down automatically. Anyway, so what was the answer there? C. You cheated to get it? Good job. Huh? Okay, let's go on to the next one, right? 11. Numero 11, right?
Can you cheat on 11?
Okay, now, we can cheat on 11. So, Christina, can we cheat on 11? No, I'm just asking you. Can you? Why say yes?
Because it's the exact same thing as...
It's just these are just in radian, right? They're just in radian. That's the only difference. These are radians, and so my answers are all numbers, right? So I'm going to have numbers and numbers. So there isn't any missing variable. There isn't any thetas. There isn't any x's. We're not finding for any of that. So I just need right here. So now to be able to do this, I'm going to do this one by hand. So first, what is pi over 15 as a decimal? 12? Maybe? So how do I do that? Pi over 15 times 180 over pi, right? So this is going to be 12, right? That's 12 degrees. Now, what's 4 pi over 15? It's 48? Yeah. So this one is the same thing. So 12 and 48. Now, what formula is being used? If it goes sine, cosine, and a plus, that's a sine of A plus B, right? So it's going to be 12 plus 48, which gives me sine of 60. What's sine at 60? We're at 3 over 2. Thank you. Yes, that guy. Yeah, you can. But people get freaked out by fractions. They do. And so yeah. So my answer was C, right? Number 12. Now, what formula is being used on number 12?
I tried cheating, it didn't work.
You didn't? Okay. Make sure you didn't put in the degree symbol.
Am I supposed to put degree or no?
No. For that one? Okay. I'm not after class, I'll show you that one, okay? So don't clear it. All right, so now, what formula is being used here? Tan of x minus y, right? So tan of x, which is 155, minus 35, which is tan of 120. So, at 120, what's the y value at 120? So radical 3 over 2 divided by, what's the x value? 1/2, right? So it's a negative 1/2. So I'm going to go with radical 3 over 2 times the reciprocal, which is negative 2 over 1, right? So I come up with the answer of negative radical 3. Because those 2's will cancel, right? So my answer is D. Yes. All right, so now for this one right here, this is the good one. There is no cheating on these ones. Huh? For 12? For what? No, all I need is my A, because from the formula, this is my A, this is my B, this is the A, and this is the B. I'm just pulling out my A's and B's. Yeah, to see if it's a plus or a minus. Okay? All right, so for this one right here, I'm going to have two values. So I'm going to have an S, and I'm going to have a T. So the S angle, so I have a single angle here, right? So I could use X, Y, and R. Same thing for T, X, Y, and R. So, if yes. Yeah. All right, so this one, so cosine S. So that means that right here for S, the X value is negative, what? How do you get 12? Negative 1, right? Thank you. Negative 1. And what about the R value? R is 6, right? Don't forget, R is positive. And it says that S is in quadrant 3, right? So that means that my X and Y are both negative. So go through and please find your Y value right now. Find your Y value. Find the Y value. Nope, wrong. Nope, wrong. So 1 plus y squared equals 36, right? So y equals plus or minus square root of 35, right? Okay, quadrant 3, so it has to be negative. Thank you. So negative radical 35. Okay? So now, let's look at the t value. So the t value here, so that means that my x value is negative 3. My r value is 5. The y value is negative 4. This one's also in quadrant 3, isn't it? So you guys could do the x, y, and r. I have faith in you. so that my y value is a negative 4. So we're trying to find cosine of s plus t, right? So cosine of s plus t is going to be cosine of s times cosine of t minus sine of s sine of t, right? That's the formula. So cosine of s, cosine here is going to be negative 1 over 6. Cosine t is negative 3 over 5 minus sine of s, negative radical 35 over 6. Sine of t is going to be negative 4 over 5. Right? Okay, so multiply these together. Two negatives give me a 3 over 30, right? And over here, I have negative, negative, negative. So if there's 3 of them, that makes it negative. So it's a minus sign now. So this is going to give me 4 radical 35 over 30. And can I combine that under one denominator? Yeah. Oh, over one denominator. So 3 minus 4 radical 35 over 30. So my answer is B.
It wouldn't just be radical 35.
Okay, what's 4 times radical 35?
No, I mean, because 3 minus 4.
No. Okay, think of this as like a 2x, and this would just be a 2, right? So they're different. So you have to treat the radical like it's a variable. I only could combine them if I had the same variable. Okay? All right. So where am I at now? I am 14, right? 14. Now, why am I hitting you guys a lot with these questions right here? Do you think they're going to be on the short answer? Yes, they are. But can we do it?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. All right, good. All right. So S, my S value. And I'm going to have a T value, right? So, for this right here, my X is, R is, Y is. Now, let's look. In quadrant 2, S is in quadrant 2. What do we know about the Y values in quadrant 2? They're positive. So go through and find the Y now, please.
5.
You get 5? So it's going to be a positive 5. Now, for the T values right here. So now, that means that my Y value is 8. My R value is, and my X value is, it's in quadrant 2. Negative 15? I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Let's see. 17 squared minus 8 squared.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, 225, 15. There we go. There we go. So now, this is going to be sine of S plus T. So sine of S plus T. So it's going to be sine of S cosine of T plus sine of T cosine of S. So sine of S, cosine of T,
Negative 15 over 17.
that's a 17, plus sine of T,
Negative 13 over
8 over 17, right? Sine 8 over 17. So we're doing T, right? 8 over 17, and then cosine of S, negative 12 over 13. All right, so 5 times 15 gives me negative 75 over whatever that is. What is 13 times? Huh? 221. Now, this is going to be plus, but this is a minus sign over here, right?
Yeah.
So altogether, this is a minus 8 times 12.
72. Wait, no.
96.
Yeah, 96. There we go. 96
Sorry, 72.
over
7.
221, right? 96 over 221. All right, so if I'm subtracting both, that means I'm going to have a big negative, right? Negative what? 171 over. All right, so that's what we get. So a negative, so my answer is C. Are we okay there? All right, so next one right here. Sum and difference identity for this. So sum and difference for this one right here. Now, for this, now we're going to just plug in the formula. So it's going to be sine of x minus pi over 2. What is pi over 2? It's 90, right? 90. So that's going to help me out. That's going to help me out. So now it's going to be sine, right? So from the formula, it's sine x cosine of 90 minus sine of 90 cosine of x, right? Now, what's cosine at 90 degrees? 0. So what's going to happen to all this? So that goes away, right? So minus, so what's sine at 90? 1. So it's minus 1 times cosine. So it's negative cosine x. So it should be like this. 0 minus cosine x, which is just negative cosine x. My answer is right there. We okay? All right, so let's take a look at this next one right here. Now this next one, we have to just look at the formula and see what it's using. Now, you guys have all your formulas in front of you on your reference sheet, except for your half-angle formulas. So your half-angle formulas are on there, but not all of them. So go into your notes, not right now, before the test tomorrow, go into your notes and add all, I think there's 5 half-angle formulas for sine, cosine, and tangent. Yeah.
5 that aren't on here, or 5 in total?
There's 5 in total, but that's only 2 of them there. And they're not written the same way. So that's why. That's why I wanted you guys to do that, okay? All right, so right here, let's take a look. So which formula matches this? Tangent 2x, right? So if this is tangent 2x, so it's going to be tangent of 2 times, what's my x value here? 15, right? So, because I'm pulling these out of my formula, right? These are like the a value and a value or something like that, right? Okay, so now that's going to be tangent at 30. So tangent at 30 is sine over cosine. So that would be 1/2 divided by radical 3 over 2. So that is 1/2 times 2 over radical 3. 1 over radical 3. And I can't leave it like that. I have to rationalize. So radical 3 over radical 3 gives me radical 3 over 3 as my answer, which is C. What work? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I off the screen? Dang it. You guys got to tell me this. Man, Sherpa, seriously, you're killing me. Yes, that guy. Is it?
Yeah.
I know it is, but most people aren't going to look at that. They won't actually look at that little box that has all your answers on it already. But that means that they would actually have. See, right there, there it is. What box?
Which one?
Huh? Yeah. See?
Where's that on?
I know, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it's like giving you the answer sheet, but not telling you it's not the answer. Like there's the answers there, right? Huh? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Are you all right? So, oh, so.
Come on, Pancho. We only got 1 more minute.
Yeah.
Actually, we got 5. That clock is off. All right. So now for right here, use identities to find indicated value for each. Find sine of 2 theta. Now, what type of angle is this? A single angle. Whenever you see a single angle, you could use X, Y, and R, right?
Yes.
So, for this one, my Y value is, and my X value is. Now, these are in what quadrant here?
Quadrant 3.
That's quadrant 3. What do we know about all the values in quadrant 3? So I have to negative those, right?
Yeah.
Now, we still have to find the R value, don't we?
Yes.
So, find the R value. Squared plus 29? Okay. There we go. All right, so now, it just says find sine of 2 theta. So, sine 2 theta, I have it on my formula. So, what is the sine 2 theta? Isn't it like 1 minus 2 sine squared theta? Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. 2 sine theta cosine theta. There we go. Huh? I'm sorry. I had to use this one when I was in calculus earlier, but I forgot it was a double for cosine. I don't even have a reference sheet in front of me. Chill. All right. So, 2. What's my sine value? Negative 21 over 29. What's the cosine value? Negative 20 over 29. So, multiply those. So, you guys know you have calculators for this, right?
Oh my god. I didn't think the calculator could do that work. That was sarcasm.
Yeah, I know. Would you like some of my sarcasm?
Yeah, I don't actually believe it. 420 lasers.
Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive 840 over 841. So that is B.
Isn't it negative?
Nope.
Oh, it's positive.
Because I have 2 negatives here, don't I? There we go. So we come up with a positive, and I get a B value right there. All right. So I will stop this video right here. Don't forget, like and subscribe.